Today we're going to continue with financial literacy, and we're going to talk about net worth, assets, and liabilities. So net worth is a statement that we have that tells the difference between our assets and liabilities. Assets are things that we have that we own. So our house, our car, our savings, any investments we have, any kind of property we have, those are all assets. Anything that we own or we have. If we owe money on things, those are called liabilities. So liabilities might be credit cards, how much you owe on your house or your car. If you have any loans, those are also liabilities. So to find our net worth is calculated by assets minus liabilities. It's a very simple equation. We do have to be able to label what is an asset and what is a liability. So we're going to take a look at some examples. Here, for assets in this net worth statement, they have a house, they have savings, they have a college fund, they have retirement money, and then they have a total assets. That's all of their assets combined. Again, liabilities are things that we owe money on. So here, mortgage owed, that's how much they owe. A credit card debt, that means they owe on their credit card. Student loans means they owe on something. An equity loan means they owe money on their home improvement. When we add all of their liabilities together, that gives us $159,800. So their net worth, again, is assets minus liabilities. So they took their asset total, subtracted their liability total, and came up with a net worth value. A lot of times in the news or in general, in real life, we hear about millionaires and billionaires and their net worth. That is how their net worth is calculated, their assets minus their liabilities. So they may have a $1 million home, but if they owe $900,000 on it, and that's all they have, no money in the bank, then they only are worth $100,000. Okay, so that's their net worth. Take a look at Try These A. We're going to calculate the net worth of someone with assets of $198,000 and liabilities of $154,000. So again, I'm going to do net worth is equal to the assets minus the liabilities. So I'm going to do $198,000 minus $154,000, and that's going to give us $44,000. So even though they owned a house worth $198,000, they really owed a lot of that amount, so they're only worth $44,000. Let's flip. We're going to take a look at organizing information for a net worth statement. In order to be able to organize for a net worth statement, we're going to have to label things that are assets and things that are liabilities. So we're going to label these with A's and L's. So a house is something I own, so that's an asset. Credit card debt, underline the word debt, that's a loan, so that's a liability. Savings account is money that I have, so that's an asset. A car loan, that's a liability. Retirement savings, that's money that I have, that's an asset. Checking account is money that I have, that's an asset. A loan is a liability. Value of a second car, no loan, so that is also an asset, I own it. And student loans are liabilities. So if I were to complete a net worth statement, I would list a column with all of my assets listed below, and then I would list all of my liabilities, and then I would say net worth equals assets minus liabilities, and I would be able to determine my net worth. A net worth is useful in determining how you're going to meet your long-term financial goals. What am I going to look like in the future to banks that are willing to lend me stuff, or how am I going to make sure that my money is protected? The next thing we're going to talk about are interest. We have two types of interest. We have simple interest, and we're going to go off to the side on this one. Simple interest is calculated by the interest time equals principal times rate times time. So I is interest equals PRT is how we write that one. Principal now is money that you invest or money that you are borrowing. Rate. It's important that you note that a rate must be in the form of a decimal when we're calculating this. If you attempt to use the percent, it's not going to be correct. And time is how long you invest something or how long your loan is for. So we're going to look at number 2, calculate simple interest on savings of $18,470. Use an annual interest rate of 2.7%. So I'm going to need to change 2.7 to a decimal. I move the decimal 2 places to the left, so that's 0.027. So simple interest, I'm going to say I equals, P is my principal, which is how much I'm investing. So that's $18,470 times my rate, which is my percent as a decimal, 0.027, times the time I'm investing this. So I'm going to do 1 year because it says once a year. So here, when I calculate this, I'm going to do 18,470. And I'm going to multiply it by 0.027 and by 1, and that gives me an interest of $498.69. So at the end of 1 year, the bank is going to give me this much money just for putting my money in the bank. The next type of interest is called compound interest. And compound will earn money over a period of time, and it earns more money than simple interest because what we're doing is we're earning money on that interest. So if we take a look at example B, we're going to invest $10,000. We have two choices of investing. We can, first of all, we're going to invest it for 2 years no matter how. We can invest it using simple interest of 4% or compound interest of 4%. So we're going to calculate both. So simple interest is easy. I equals PRT. My interest I don't know, so that's I equals. My principal is what I'm putting in, which is 10,000. My rate is 4%, but I have to change it to a decimal, so that's 0.04. And my time is 2 years. So when I multiply that together, 10,000 times 0.04 times 2, I get $800. That means that the bank is going to give me $800 over the course of 2 years for investing that $10,000. So at the end, in my pocket, I'm going to have $10,800. Okay? If I look at compound interest, I'm going to take my 10,000. You may want to put a C, that way you know what compound looks like. I'm going to take my 10,000, I'm going to multiply it by my interest rate of 4%, and that gives me $400. So at the end of year 1, their bank is going to give me $400. That $400 then goes back into that $10,000. So now for year 2, I have $10,400 that I'm investing. So 10,400 times 4% interest is going to give me, bless you, $416. So now how much total interest did I earn using compound interest? $816. How much money did I have at the end of the 2 years? That would be the $10,000 plus the $816, which would be $10,816. I know $16 is not a big difference here, but if we're talking about large amounts of money, for instance, when you're borrowing money to pay for a house, it becomes a very large difference. You more than double pay for the house most of the time using a loan from a bank. So if a house were $200,000, you may end up paying $400,000 for the house using a bank loan. Let's flip. There's a couple of other things really quickly we're going to talk about, and those are monetary incentives. For monetary incentives, we have two types. We have coupons versus rebates. Coupons are money that you get right immediately back. Buy one, get one free. Okay? Buy one, get one half off. Or 30 cents off whatever you're buying. That's immediate when you go to the register. Rebates are things you get coming back to you, but not immediately. For instance, if you go to Target, a lot of times they'll have an ad. Buy so much of this and get a $5 gift card. You can't use the $5 gift card right there. They give it to you after the purchase for you to use on your next purchase. So coupons are immediate versus rebates are down the road. So let's take a look real quick at number 5. Suppose your family's favorite restaurant is offering an incentive of one meal at regular price and the second one at half price. If both meals regularly cost $8.50, how much would you pay? So we would pay the regular price for the first one plus half of the regular price for the second one. So half of $8.50 is $4.25. So when I add $8.50 plus $4.25, I get $12.75. Then they're asking me how much I'm saving, and that is $4.25. It's important that you read what the question's asking for to know whether they're wanting the savings or the actual amount that you spend.